the one site. I wouldn't say it's frenzied down there. A little chaotic, for sure, as we see a lot of movement. And for me, the most movement I've seen down here by this site for quite a while. But again, it looks like a lot of these items that they took out of the encampment are now being brought back into the encampment. There you go. We'll just keep looking around the area in front of Butler Library. Again, you just see a lot of these tents and other items being brought back into the area they apparently were just taken out of. And whereas before we saw people rushing to get as much as they could out of here, people are now just calmly walking back in. Now we just see this common sight of tents being walked back. People just walking. Again, more of those tents now being brought back in. You saw some of those pop-ups there that were covering the tables where they had the food and other items. Moving back over to where the food tables were. That's this area right here. You see some of the dismantled tents over here. This is where they had all their signs that they appeared to be making and stored right over there. And yeah, again, people aren't just bringing items back into the area they just cleared everything out of. Look back over here. Seems to be a steady stream of people that are just moving back away from Fernald and back over here towards the encampment site. We have a cluster of people gathered right here. A little log jam of people. Looks like they're just handing things back over the shrubs now the other way. And you're seeing tables and chairs and tents. We've seen air mattresses and other items just being carried back and forth. So again, the reason for the activity, if you are just joining us here on CBS News New York, we are live in Chopper 2 looking down at Columbia University. And there was an edict put down by the university telling the people in the encampment that they've been here for a week with that they wanted them off of the lawn, out of the area, everything taken down by midnight. And as we got closer to midnight, we saw a rush of people getting tents and other items off of the lawn area here, and they were taking everything over here to Fernald Lawn, over here behind the Graduate School of Journalism. And once that midnight deadline came and went, everybody appeared to decide to go back to the original encampment site. And that's what you're looking at now, is everybody who moved everything out appears to be slowly moving everything back into where they have been camped out for the past week. And you can see that group here in front of Butler Library as they continue to bring various items back in. Like I said, we have seen some people with their personal effects that were leaving around 11:30 or so and going over there to the other lawn. And I think for a moment there, they're going to set up all their tents over there. But as we get further away from midnight now, just in the last 10 minutes, we've seen people bringing their possessions back over here. Until you need fuel. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Appreciate that. And Eric, you tell me. Okay. Okay. Again, folks, we're just discussing logistics with the helicopter. Obviously, we have to start thinking about our fuel situation here, so we'll stay with you for another 12, 13 minutes, and right around 12:30, we'll have to leave the area, head back to our airport. But until then, we'll show you what's going on here at Columbia University as people begin to move back into the Butler Library Commons, the west side of it. This is where we've seen a pro-Palestinian encampment for the last week that's been established over here. The university telling the people inside that encampment that they needed to vacate the area by midnight. Tents and everything. They wanted everything off of the property. And we saw a mad rush of people trying to get everything out as much as they could before that midnight deadline. And once that deadline came and then it went, people decided to start bringing their stuff back into this area. So that's what we're watching now as people bring back their tents and their tables and other personal effects that they had over here. And you can see another group of people now coming over with their items. There you see some of those tables we were talking about. And again, they're going to just put everything back to the way it was before they started moving everything out of here. Like I said, the request was made by the university for them to vacate. And right now, all we see are the people who have been inside that encampment. From as far as we can tell from up here, we have not seen anybody from the university come over here. Definitely have not seen anybody from the NYPD in the area over here. So we see everybody who was inside that encampment moving back in. Like I said, as you see them coming in, we see people over here with pillows and blankets and bags and other personal items to try to keep themselves comfortable in those tents that they have over here. Again, on the east side, that's where you're looking at now, where all these tents are popped up. There's very little dismantling that happened over here. It seems like everybody on the northwest side, though, and most of the west side tents, they were all taken down. Trying to get everything, as much as they could, out of here before that midnight deadline came. And now we see most everybody now trying to move their stuff back in to where they had been for the last week. Like I said, we had seen quite a large crowd gathered over here on College Walk as they were watching everybody trying to quickly get their possessions out of the area. And now they're moving everything back in. And again, we just see this group of people thinning out now. There have been quite a few people all lined up on the steps over here. And they have filled most of the steps, to be honest. But now, like I said, that group has thinned out. And we come back over here by the library side. And what you're seeing is mostly the people in the encampment moving back in to where they have been. You see some people going in and out of the library, but for the most part, these are the protesters that had been inside. for the better part of a week now. Like I said, when we had seen them trying to leave the area they were told to leave, they had all gathered over here on the lawn right next to where they've all been. And as midnight got closer, we saw everybody taking many of the possessions and putting them over here in the corners of this walkway. But now most of those items have been picked up and taken away. You can circle again, Eric, if you want. Yeah, you just tell me when. So again, we're just talking to the pilot here as we make another circle around the area. So it looks like what we've seen is people began to leave and decided that they could go back to where they were. So that's what you're watching now. Everybody trying to rebuild the encampment that they that they quickly tried to dismantle. See over there. That's where the food was. People moving everything back over there. Again, we see people putting their tents and their other possessions back over the hedges there and trying to reestablish the tents that they had built over here. You can see some of them popping back up now. People just helping one another to put everything back over there. A few people still left on the lawn over here. So again, as everything wraps up down there below us there, folks, we'll give you one more recap and let you catch you up to what's going on down here. Like I said, this is the encampment pro-Palestinian group that had been here for a week now outside of Butler Library on the campus of Columbia University. The university had told them they need to leave that area by midnight. Tents and all had to be taken down, and we watched as we got closer to midnight. They started to take apart the encampment down here, but as midnight came and midnight went, the people decided they were going to move their stuff back in here after all. We have not seen any other movement from university officials or NYPD folks coming into this area, so they're building their encampment back up here, and that's the situation as we see it now. Again, I'm Dan Rice, live in Chopper 2, and you've been watching Breaking News on CBS News, New York.